Last week, I put out a video on why I'm optimistic about an upcoming recession, but this was primarily focused on external factors that might affect you if the economy starts to falter and rates continue to rise. But what we didn't cover in that video is what you can do proactively to set yourself up for success even if a worst case scenario does end up playing out rather than just accepting being at the whims of the market. So to make sure you're taking the steps you need to take to land your first job in the industry during an economic downturn or to protect the job you already have, in this video, let's walk through my 3 biggest recommendations to make sure you can both start and grow your career in the commercial real estate industry regardless of what's happening in the market overall. So my first recommendation on this list is advice that was first given to me from a lot of different people who went through the worst of the great financial crisis in 2008 and 2009, and this is to be extremely selective when pursuing new opportunities heading into an uncertain market. When times get tough and headcount needs to be reduced, real estate firms will often follow the LIFO or last in, first out policy, meaning that when revenue dries up and layoffs become a necessary evil, the newest members of the team are often the first to go. And this means that you either want to extend your tenure as long as possible within a company you're currently working for, or if you're looking for new jobs altogether, you need to assess the likelihood that layoffs might occur. If you're interning somewhere right now and you think there might be an opportunity to stay on in a full-time capacity after graduation, or if you're already working full-time in the industry and think you can progress internally, doubling down on making those things a reality might be a smart move given current market conditions. And if you do decide to look for new roles during this time, or you're just trying to get your foot in the door in your first job in the industry, you need to make sure that you're being extremely selective during this process and that you understand the likelihood of being able to keep your job if market conditions were to shift. This means that when you're interviewing for a new role, make sure you clearly understand the capital sources the company relies on, how the company generates revenue, and I would even dig into the projected performance of the asset classes and even the geographic markets the company is investing in to get a better sense of how the firm might perform in a downside scenario. And if the company's been around for 15 years or more, I would also take the time to ask what happened internally during the last major recession and what happened to the company's headcount when things took a turn for the worst. The overall strategy here is to either dig your heels in where you currently are and really entrench yourself as a valuable member of the team, or to double down on your own research of other companies you're interviewing with and to make sure they have a structure in place that makes it very, very likely that your new job can withstand a potential market downturn. Now, recommendation number 2 on this list is directly related to digging your heels in and building tenure over time, and this is to become so good at what you do and so integral to the firm's operations that laying you off would actually hurt the company more than help. For firms that traditionally follow a LIFO layoff strategy, even if you've only been in a job for 3 to 6 months, but you're crushing your responsibilities and showing a huge amount of potential, you're very likely going to be the exception to that last in, first out rule. Company leaders want to make sure they're maximizing their chances of success, especially during economic contractions, and the more quickly you can prove that you're a major asset to the team, the more likely it is that your managers will find a way to keep you around when things get tough. If you can become the go-to person internally for things that other people in the company either can't or won't do, whether that's work in Excel or Argus, going to industry events or traveling, or tackling new projects that are complex and difficult, it's going to be really, really challenging to backfill your role. Ideally, you want to position yourself in a way that if senior leadership got together in a meeting to decide on who to lay off and who to keep, and your name came up in that discussion, you'd want your managers and your team members to give you a but if vote. And what I mean by this is that if someone were to suggest laying you off or letting you go, you'd want someone else to step up and say, but if we did let this person go, then this bad thing would happen, and we need this person to do that good thing that helps our organization grow. Put yourself in the shoes of a business owner or a senior executive. When times get hard and you need to make a cut, you're going to want to keep the people you know can help you get through those hard times. And if letting someone go is just going to make that hard time even harder, it's very unlikely that you're going to make that decision. And if you set out to become someone that your organization cannot afford to lose, you'll maximize your chances of keeping your job in the case of a market downturn, and you'll build rare and valuable skills in the process that you can then leverage into different opportunities if you choose to in the future. Now finally, my third recommendation in this video is one that you've heard before, but with a slightly different twist, and this is to build your network, but with a focus on deeper, more genuine relationships with both senior leaders in the industry and your industry peers. When people get laid off or have trouble landing jobs in the first place, it's often their network that helps them get back up on their feet. And by network, I'm not just talking about your 2,000 LinkedIn connections or people you talk to for 5 minutes at a conference, but instead the people you talk with regularly in the industry that know you, trust you, and can vouch for your skill set. And if you're watching this and thinking that list is either really small or non-existent for me, a huge priority for you over the next few months should be building these relationships and strengthening existing ties. Most people automatically think they need to focus their relationship building solely on decision makers, but in my experience, this isn't always the case. Your peers at the analyst and associate level will usually know about job opportunities at their companies before they're even advertised, and senior executives will often ask internally if anyone has any recommendations to fill an open position. Many job openings in commercial real estate aren't even initially posted online, and when the job market is tight and companies don't have the time to sift through hundreds of resume submissions, they'll often choose to interview internal recommendations first before marketing the opportunity on a general job posting site. This is where having these relationships beforehand really starts to matter, since it's much easier to stand out from a pack of 10 candidates than a pack of 200. But to build these relationships and put yourself in this position, you need to put the work in up front, which means doubling down on your networking efforts to make new connections and strengthening existing relationships that you've already taken the time to create. If there's a key contact in your network that you haven't talked to recently, give that person a call or invite them out to lunch. And if you met up with someone for the first time a year ago and you want to strengthen that relationship today, follow up with that person and make the time to catch up. The goal is to become a familiar face with people rather than just someone they met once in passing, and when you take the time to do this, your network will start to serve as an unfair advantage for you when looking for new opportunities, and will also serve as a safety net if something unexpected like a layoff does end up happening and you need to get back up on your feet as quickly as possible. So if you're hoping for the best but want to make sure you're prepared for the worst, these are 3 great ways to protect yourself against a downside scenario in the economy. And if you want to make sure you have the technical skill sets you'll need to land jobs at top commercial real estate investment, brokerage, and lending firms, regardless of market conditions, as always, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking the CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Breaking a CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on this channel on commercial real estate career strategies, make sure to hit the like button and let me know in the comments where you see the commercial real estate market going heading into the new year. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.